It's time for another Dice Tower review from Gamers Remorse.
Hello and welcome back to Gamers Remorse. Today we're taking a look at the game Bobby, currently on the Game Crafter.
Bobby is a game in which players fight not to be the last player with cards at the end. Play begins with the cards being dealt until the entire deck is fully distributed between the players. The players then roll the die to determine the starting color. Once the color is revealed, the player with a Bobby of the rolled color plays the Bobby and play continues clockwise, with players playing cards of the same color as the leading card. Once all players have played cards, the cards are discarded and the player with the highest played card becomes the starting player, playing any card from his hand. If it gets to a player who doesn't have the leading color, they can play any card. The player then with the highest card in the pool collects all the played cards and adds them to their hand. Players also must pick up the card pool if they play incorrectly or out of turn. At any point, if a player feels they cannot pass another player without picking up the card pool, they can take any other player's entire hand. Once all players except one have emptied their hands of cards, the remaining player is declared the loser while the others are victorious.
Somebody want to roll this?
Alright. Ooh. Red.
Red Bobby.
Red the Bobby.
So my last blog that I posted on our website is called Ameritrash Anonymous, How I Learned to Stop Judging and Love the Euro.
Oh, yeah?
I thought that was an amusing title.
I don't know if I saw that one.
It was about how I played,
Well, in that case.
I recently played Through the Ages.
Strategy. Oh yeah, I saw that.
And Lords of Waterdeep. Have I played yet on this one?
I started.
Okay. And Bobby was played?
I played Bobby.
I'm sorry.
I have a lot of those, if you can't tell. Guys.
Like, I feel bad for you, but at the same time, you're getting rid of a lot of cards.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
What color started? Sorry.
Yellow.
Good.
Alright.
So
I got
you
take
start
that.
now. Didn't I?
Yeah,
Okay. I was gonna say
In that
mine
case,
was pretty low.
let's go to the Bobby. Blue Bobby.
Wow.
Let's play low card. Have you guys found a good way to differentiate between the 6 and the 9 yet?
No.
Oh my gosh. This is nerve-wracking.
5-0. Okie dokie. Well,
Was I high?
5 was high.
5's high.
Was I high? Am I high right now? What? Nope. Nope.
I've never actually had that happen to me.
So we have a 3 and a 5.
When do you take a bigger risk than that?
So Brian's.
Ooh, okay. Oh, dang it.
That's you.
Son of a gun.
Wow.
Alright.
This is where it starts going downhill.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or is that part of the game?
I know.
Where it starts to feel
Somebody else take it.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh my gosh.
no
jeez.
red or green.
No red, no green. Okay. Okay. I kind of understand that, but let's see.
Just kind of.
We'll do a purple. We'll try that. Hopefully this gets around. Oh! 1/4 the way around. No, Brian, no. No, please. Oh, man. Shoot, that didn't work.
This is where it starts to get overwhelming.
You can't come back from this.
Yeah. I think if Nate loses, we gotta play again.
Blue.
We have to play until one of you two gets what we're talking about. Oh, blue?
Blue's got to make it.
What, you got 9?
Yeah. Okay. So we're okay so far.
Brian!
Dang it, Brian. No. No. All right.
For the record, I didn't follow my usual strategy there. Just throwing that out.
Okay. I
I was
hope.
being polite.
Yellow. I don't know. Green. No. Blue. No.
I can help you this time.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is where you can't come back from this game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You just
All right.
can't come back.
Maybe it's like a balancing act, and once you start to go, the erosion just
Yeah.
carries you.
Well,
You're
the funny
done.
thing
There's
is,
an
like,
inertial loss.
I'm sitting pretty bad right now.
I don't know what.
But you just
But
can't
he
get to
can't
me.
pass.
He
the-
can't get to me.
Yeah.
Dang. Oh. All right.
I'm down to 2 cards. So.
Just take his.
Take your hand. Take my hand.
Honestly, it might be best for you to. Well, it's
All right.
really hard to.
0. I don't remember if blue works even, and I don't think it does. No. Oh,
No.
hey, another 0.
Well,
Blue got through me, but
it through you?
Yeah,
get through you.
that's all I had. Was
You should
blue.
probably just take his.
Give me that.
Because I'm probably the best one that you can try to.
All right, man.
Once Nate absorbed Sean and I's hands, it came down to a game of war between him and Scott to see who had the smaller hand and who was better able to use the cards.
This
that were
game was very
dealt.
difficult for me to judge, so let's just go around and say kind of what we thought without going through our rubrics first, and then we'll hit the rubrics. So, what do you think, Brian?
I think after having played this game a fair amount of times, actually, I am the world's best Bobby player.
Gosh.
I mean, I thought it was enjoyable but confusing. But the confusion was I'm watching other people do bad. And realistically, it's just I had a very lucky hand. But every game, I had a very lucky hand. So I'm like, why are you guys so bad at this? But it's just luck. It's weird.
Yeah.
But what are your guys' thoughts? I'm curious, as the people who got bad hands.
Okay, so for me, like, interesting game. And I can't say that it was terrible because we played it so many times. But like, I guess it's kind of like gambling almost. Like, you just hope you're gonna get a good hand. You just hope you're gonna see somebody else just do horrible. And that's the reason you play again. It's just like, I mean, that's literally what I felt like. I was like, well, let's play it again so I can see somebody else do bad. But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I don't know.
One thing I liked about this game was that it went quickly. So
True.
we played like 5 different games of this within an hour or so. So it went quickly. But yeah, I felt like once you got to a certain point in the game, kind of the loser was already determined. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
So didn't really see a way for the person losing to come back.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and hit my rubric real quick. Quality of components, 0 to 2. I'm giving it a 1 because it was essentially a deck of cards with a die that you use once in the beginning of the game that could have easily been determined by randomly drawing a card and being like, oh, red, we're starting with that. Good balance of skill to luck, 0 to 1. I'm giving it a 0 because, as we had said, it largely relied on luck. There was a couple of strategies that you could rely on to get rid of your higher cards, either early on through leading with bobbies, right? And then controlling that leadership and being able to play out different cards. But at the same time, if someone early on ran out of that color, sorry, unlucky. I mean, it just seemed like you were dealt whatever cards you were dealt, and that's how that went. Analysis paralysis, 0 to 1. I'm giving it a 0.5 because you really could kind of take a little bit of time to be like, oh, a 10 or a Bobby, or particularly towards the end of the game where you have to figure out, okay, I know Nate doesn't have purple, I know Scott only has purple, how do I get it around, But overall, the game paced very, very well. I mean, you could probably play around in about 15 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. Theme, 0 to 2. I'm giving it a 0.5. Usually I don't pick on games for its theme if it's abstract like this. I'm still curious what the name Bobby means. So there's that. It just seemed kind of like a Uno type game. Uno meets Hearts maybe. Thrill versus competitive, 0 to 2. I gave it a 2, and it scored really high because I found it super thrilling. I don't think there was a game once where I went out the first round and someone grabbed my cards, right? So I was constantly in it throughout the entire game, trying to determine logically who had what color and what level their color was. Do they have higher cards, lower cards? So I was very competitive with it, and I felt a great sense of thrill, which was good, except for the objective of the game is to not be the loser. And I felt like that played against me as well, because I didn't want to be the loser, but that inertial loss factor played in. And was it fun? 1 to 2. I gave it a 1. I could obviously see playing it a couple of times in a night, but it's not my favorite game by any means. It seemed like an okay game, but this is nothing that I would bring to a party, particularly, a party where people are like, hey, let's play an indie game. Are there any good indie games out there? This wouldn't be one I would bring. At the same time, it's a very good pub game. So if you're just looking for a game of cards to play, without bringing something old like Uno or Rook, this would be a game to look at. So, what'd you think, Brian?
Visuals out of 2, I gave it a 1. and he briefly mentioned the 6 and the 9, and you often see a line under the 6 and the 9, and you go, for what reason is there a line there? And then when it's gone, you're going, which is which? And on very many occasions, I would say there's 6 colors, so 12 times a card is played, and I'm like, is that a 6 or a 9? Because that knowledge does impact you. Because now am I going to play my 5 or am I going to play my 8? And so it's just, it should be easier to observe, but then also some of the colors, and granted, at home you probably won't be playing under soft boxes, but is that red or is that orange? I'm not sure. Is that blue or is that green? Just the color spectrums weren't as varied as they could have been. There are other colors they could have used to separate the spectrums a little bit. Skill luck, I'm giving that a 0.5 because there is some skill if you have a good hand, but then once you get to, as Sean mentioned, that snowballing effect, the skill has gone out the window. Pacing, I'm giving that 1.5. I thought it was paced very well. And then theme and immersion, I've mentioned in previous videos and on our website and some of my blogs, I love theme, but Sean has tried to drill into me that theme isn't always necessary. And I would say this is one of those games that doesn't need a theme, yet it is immersive. Somehow you're drawn into the game. And this might be the first game I actually felt that, where like without a theme, I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm actually into this for some reason. And then once I get eliminated via winning, I'm like, why was I so into that? I don't know, that was cool. So this is odd sense of immersion, so I'm giving that 1 out of 2 there. Mechanics, I enjoyed some of the mechanics. I like that, I don't have that color, haha, take this. But I feel there should be some restrictions on that, because that can lead to I'm saving terrible cards to give to people when I don't have certain colors. So that got 0.5. And then was it fun? I'm saying kind of. I'm giving it a 1. 1 out of 2. I kind of enjoyed it, but I feel it would be made for certain circumstances. I don't want to say this is a pocket game, because clearly this is too big to fit in the average person's pocket, but I might say it's a purse game. It would easily fit in a purse. You could take this to a pub or to a restaurant. You sit down, you order your appetizer, you order some drinks or what have you, and you can play around before your meal gets there. But how about Scott? What are your thoughts?
I thought it was nice that it was quick paced and that we got through multiple games rather quickly. But just some of the mechanics of not being able to come back from kind of about halfway through the game, it got to a point where you couldn't come back from where you were at, and you had just too many cards, and it just became overwhelming. So I would kind of say about 4.5 is where I would put this game.
Yeah, I guess for me, was it fun? Surprisingly, yeah, sort of, yeah. I thought, it's weird that, even though all of us, most of us at least, had a part where we lost really badly, Brian said that it draws you in, and that's kind of true. I mean, I didn't see anybody rage quit or anything. I didn't see anybody go, I'm done with this game. I don't want to do this again. It's like it just draws you in again, and I think it's partly the pacing. It just goes so fast that you always know in 5 minutes or so you're going to have another chance. So pacing is the big bonus to this game, but I guess for me, I just give it middle of the road, like a 5.
And I like how you mentioned too earlier, it's kind of like gambling.
It is.
You're like, what, I think I can win next time.
Yeah, because you're like,
I got a bad hand, but I'm going to get a good hand.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm playing again, but I am, as I know I can possibly do better.
All right, I believe the average was a 5 for this game. Bobby, get it on the Game Crafter. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
YouTuber who keeps commenting about our horrible comedy. Comments below.
Least funny comment wins. How funny would it be if we tried to do a game like pure monotone? Like no jokes or anything.
We could do like Ben Stein. Hello and welcome to Bobby.
Today we will be playing Bobby, a game for 2 to 8 players.
Welcome to Board on Board Games,
where we show you how boring board games really are.
Here we have a card game.
As you can see, there is no board. So why it's called a board game is beyond me.
Whoa, Brian, you're getting a little risque. Let's keep it down to earth.
Reroll.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.